Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone's doing well. Today I would like to share with you a Burton & Burton Easter display inspiration. I found it on their website. It could have been from last year, the year before, I don't know, but it's cute and it's fun and it's perfect time of the year to do it. So here you go. Okay, so these are the items that we're going to need to complete the craft. You're going to need the wooden thread spools, which I got at Michael's, the sticker letters, which I also got at Michael's, and the eggs, which I got at the Dollar Tree. There will be a juke string that you're going to need as well. I didn't put that in this picture, but you can get that pretty much anywhere. Michael's, Walmart, Dollar Tree. And you're also going to need a pair of scissors, an X-Acto knife, a hot glue gun, the hot glue gun refills, and an egg carton. All right, let's get started. Okay, guys, so first things first, I'm going to unravel these eggs, cut them open, and get prepared to start the next step, which would be to paint them. Now, I didn't actually paint them completely, but what I did use was a white chalk paint. I used the paint, I painted the whole entire egg, which you'll see in a moment, and then from there I wiped it off with a paper towel. I did that to make it look matte instead of it being super shiny like it was. I was going for more of a farmhouse type of feel instead of having it be shiny like in a regular typical Easter egg. You can do it however you'd like. You don't have to do that. That's just what I wanted to do. But yeah, have fun with it and don't be afraid to get creative. Okay, so the next step would be to place the sticker on the egg. I had a tool for this. You can use your fingers if you'd like. What I did though is I placed it gently on the egg with the tool, and then I used my thumb to press it on to make sure it was placed on firmly. It's quick, it's simple, and I did that for the rest of the eggs to spell out the word Easter. So I'm going to fast forward through the rest of this part, and if you have any questions regarding it, just leave it in the comments below. I actually did not have a second E, so what I did was I used the letter F, and then I took another piece of a different letter and I put the bottom to make an E. So it's a makeshift E, but hey, it worked. It looks cute. You couldn't even tell. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually mixing brown paint with the white chalk paint to make a lighter tan color, and I'm going to paint the entire wooden spools with this color. In the Burton & Burton craft, they didn't actually have an egg carton on it. If you go and look at it, if you happen to look it up, they actually had it on the flat spool itself. I couldn't keep the egg on like that. It wouldn't let me. So I cut different sizes and pieces off of the actual egg carton, and I placed that onto the spool and then put the egg inside. You'll see that as I keep going, but I just wanted you to see in person what different sizes and things that you could actually use on top of the spool. You can make it short, you can make it taller, whatever your preference is. You could even try and put it on there flat if you'd like, but this is how I did it. I actually used the carton itself. I thought it came out nice, and as I continue to go on, you'll see how I do it. Here I'm finishing cutting the egg carton to the size and shape that I'd like. Then I'm going to use the same exact paint that I used on the spool to put on that egg carton so it matches. This is where the juke string comes into play. I'm going to take my hot glue gun, I'm going to use it on a part of the spool, and then I'm going to take the juke string and I'm going to wrap it around, as you'll see. When I get to the end of the juke string, I press it in with the end of the X-Acto knife, I cut it, then I press it in again. After that, I hold it in my hand and then I spin it around while pressing all the juke string into place. After that, I take my scissors and I trim off any excess string that's hanging out. Now use that same exact step on the rest of your spools. Now we're going to focus on making the bow. What I did was I took the juke string, I wrapped it around 2 fingers, and then I tied the bow the same way that you would tie your shoelaces. Make sure that you take each bow and measure it with the previous one to make sure they all match and they're the same sizes. Make enough bows to go on each and every spool. And what I did here was I took my hot glue gun and I actually used it on the middle of the bow to keep the whole bow in place so that maybe in the future it doesn't happen to move out of place and all the bows stay the same size. If you happen to have any excess glue on there like I did, I just took my napkin and I wiped it right off. Once you have everything sized perfectly to your liking, the next step would be to take your scissors and trim the ends to match the other bows. And what you're about to see me do now is I'm going to take my hot glue gun and I'm going to actually glue the ends of the bow, and that's to keep it from fraying in the future. I'm not really sure if they would fray, but I just did this as precaution. You can do it if you'd like, or you could skip this step too. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to tie that bow one more time, just in case I went too fast the last time. That way you don't have to rewind. But this is how it works. So you take it, put it around your 2 fingers, and then you tie it around just like you would with your shoelace. After that, you can pull on the remaining strands to get the loops to the exact size that you'd like. Then from there, you follow the steps that you previously saw, and you make another bow. Once you have that all set and you've made all your bows, next we're going to take the egg cartons that we've painted and actually attach them to the spools. Now I'm just triple checking and making sure the sizes are perfect. Once I find that they're fitting well on top of the spool, I take my hot glue gun, I apply the glue, and then I paste that on top. So what I'm going to do next is paste or glue the egg on top of the spool with the hot glue gun. So I take the egg, I glue the bottom of the egg, and then I glue inside of the egg carton, and I stick the egg inside. Once the egg is sitting where I'd like it to, sitting straight up and at the angle I'd like, then I'll move on to the next egg. Next, we're going to want to apply the bow that we made to the spool with the egg attached. We're going to put it on just below the egg, as you can see me doing, and we're going to use the hot glue to do this. Alright, so we are down to the last and final step. After you glue on all your bows, the next step would be to put the buttons on. Now I didn't show the buttons in the beginning, but I did have random buttons lying around my house. They were all the same size, they weren't the same color, so what I did was I took that same brown paint from the beginning, I added some white to it to make a light tan color so they were all the same, and then I attached them to each and every one so they all matched. And if you have all the same buttons, that's great, but if you don't, just know that you can paint them too. Alright guys, and this is the final result. This is the finished product of what we made today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for coming and watching my first video, and I hope to see you all again soon.